Love Life, featuring your hosts Rebecca Detman and Jane Donovan.
The sun shines bright as it moves across my face. I feel the light.
I trust in the gentle healing of Mother Nature.
Welcome to Love Life. I'm Rebecca Detman.
And I'm Jane Donovan.
And I'm half missing my voice, so I might sound like a little bit like a croaky frog.
Oh, Beck's been releasing big time.
It's almost, I know.
It's good. It's
so
exciting.
Many episodes that I have a croaky voice and Jane always just sounds normal and fine. How come I always sound like I'm the one getting sick on this show? Where are you putting your illnesses, Jane?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, don't say that. That could put me into fear.
You just don't ever seem to present with any symptoms.
Yeah, I do. I think I throw them really quick and somehow I must not have them timed to be here on the day that we're recording.
I'm just heart on the sleeve. Oh, it's all coming out and you will have to sit in it with me. Anyway, today we trust in the gentle healing of Mother Nature. In fact, this is quite appropriate. I have been using Mother Nature all weekend to assist with my laryngitis. And we also had a lovely message on our Facebook page in the last few days. I have been patiently waiting for you ladies to do a show on essential oils and Rebecca's flower essences. Have you forgotten? Please, pretty please, do one really soon, ? Okay, we're doing it now. Thank you for reminding us, because we have referenced this a couple of times over the last, 50, 100 episodes. But we thought we'd look at a number of gentle, subtle, but powerful vibrational healing modalities today. Not all just vibrational, some are quite physical. We're encouraging you to be the kitchen witch, to go into the kitchen, go into the garden, look around you when you're going out for a walk and gather from what you find around you and use it to assist in whatever is showing up for you, health-wise, physical, mental, emotional health. I had a girl yesterday, a client, and she was sort of saying how she really wants to assist her partner who's had depression. He goes to the doctor, he gets the drugs. She said, look, I've been researching natural things to help with his fluid retention, to help with his depression. She said, is there any harm? I was like, darling, you can't overdose on ginger. Like, you can't overdose on turmeric. I mean, unless you took, 16 buckets of the stuff. But, I mean, apple cider vinegar. It's like, yes, you can overdose on a pill from a pharmacist, but you really can't, like a few cloves of raw garlic.
You can't get it wrong.
It's not going to kill anybody. That's the beautiful thing about natural medicine. Jane, where do you want to begin with today's topic?
Oh, look, I know that I've had so many beautiful past lives where I have been that little herbalist, that little old lady in the village. I've got the best garden and I've got all the wisdom and knowledge of what to do with what thing from the garden to fix what ailment. However, in this lifetime, I live in very much a concrete jungle in suburbia. And I have chosen to be time poor or not make that a priority in my life, but I'm still so drawn to it. I love it. I get really excited by it. I've got so many herbal books and essence, make your own essences, make your own oils, make your own potions. I'm a huge, huge fan of it.
Yeah.
So I kind of, on one hand, like I'm not the Wiccan textbook nature witch, but I cut up onions, I put them in halves in my children's bedrooms when they're not well and they go to bed, much to their disgust. In fact, these days I actually have to do it after they're asleep. I slip them in their room and then I get in there before they wake up and I remove them out there, get rid of the evidence so they don't know that I'm, doing weird stuff. I mean, how did it become normal to take a man-made synthetic medicine and weird to put an onion in a room? How did that happen? Anyway, we know how that happened.
People went into fear and science. That's how that happened.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So I'm a big, big fan of it. I don't have the wisdom that I know you do, so I'm really excited to hear all that you're going to be sharing today because you really are the guru of this.
Well, I'm not certified in anything.
Oh, we're not certified in anything except life.
Who's certified in anything anymore anyway? I mean, really. But I mean, it's just past life remembrance. I have memories of walking through a big, beautiful temple in Egypt or somewhere in the ancient world, I think Babylon as well. And in Egypt, there was the goddess Bast. She was the cat goddess. They worshipped, I don't even quite understand, but she was the one that represented cats. But she was also the goddess of perfume. And I can remember being under the under that particular deity, worshipping that deity and having the big terracotta vases and pots and alabaster bowls full of oils, and dipping my fingers in the oils and blending the oils and using oils for everything. And it was such a sensuous, heart-connected, just exotic, exquisite, beautiful lifetime. And, you know, to this day, I'm obsessed with blending oils. I have coconut oil. You can use it for sexual lube. You can put it through your hair. You can rub it on your face. You can blend essential oils into it and put it under your arms for deodorant.
Do that. I actually have 4 jars of it here, one for each member of my family, because we all use it for everything.
Exactly. And of course, it doesn't stop at coconut oil. There's so many different kinds of oils, but we forget the ways. Like, I've tried to put oil on somebody's face and they've, you know, jumped back and said, will that give me pimples? Because we've got such this mythology about oil on the skin creates congestion and all of that. But I now don't feel moisturised unless I've used an oil. Anything else to me feels too greasy and thin. Anyway, I wanted to kick off today's discussion talking about the planes of existence, which actually is relevant, although Jane looks doubtful, because it's something I learned a very long time ago when I studied theta healing. And it's a structure which I always hearken back to, whether it is quote unquote real or not. I do find it's a very organised way of ordering the universe and helping us to understand our place in it. But what it also does is it very nicely, categorically, systematically organises all the different healing modalities. So I'm just going to quickly run everyone through so that you know what I'm talking about. So there's 7, according to Vianna Stibal, who channeled theta healing, there are 7 planes of existence. Now, so the very first plane is to do with rocks and the earth. It's the geology. That's where minerals come from. That's where crystals come from. That's where, for example, if you needed a healing because you were calcium deficient, or you were deficient in a certain mineral, or you wanted to use a crystal pendulum, or just crystals on the body or things like that, that's where we use rocks, right, at that level. The next level up is trees and plants and flowers and fairies, the elementals. So that's where we use herbal medicine, we use aromatherapy, we use essential oils and things like that, any sort of herbal infusions, spices, etc. Or you can also call on your fairies for healing. And then the third plane is humans, or the now. So that's a very physical plane, because it's the plane of the flesh. It's where surgery comes in. It's where medicine, modern, sort of Western medicine comes in. With we look at the body, we cut it open, we stitch it up. It's all very, very physical type based, doctorly type healing modalities. And then the next plane, what are we? 1, 2, 3, fourth plane is spirit, entities, and waywards. Now, the way that this was described to me when I studied it, and I view it a bit like this: if you go up above the earth, so to speak, like as if there's a ladder, but you know what I mean, it's like there's this kind of green room, like this waiting room up in the sky. It's the place where souls hover while they wait, where they sort of coming in between lifetimes. It's like the airport arrivals lounge. They're kind of there. They're still close to earth. They can check in, like your dead grandma can visit you, but they're sort of figuring where they're going to move on to next. It's the plane that a lot of the shamanic and witch doctor type healing comes from, because those spirits are still very near and present, and they're interacting a lot with the earth sphere, and you can sort of connect with them. So that's where your shamanic, your drum beats, your tribal, your drug travelling, those sort of astral plane healings come in. The next one up is guardians and guides. So now we're really getting into higher level spirit guides, angels, and then the next tier, just still within that dimension, is the ascended masters, your Buddhas, your Jesuses. I always forget who. There are so many ascended masters, and I can only ever pull out Buddha and Jesus, but you know what I mean. It's where there's so many.
There are so many.
I wish I had read up on this and I could just list them. But it's where all of the higher evolved, perhaps we could say Abraham, that sort of energy, all of that energy comes from that plane. Then we get into the 6th plane, and this one always fascinated me. This is the plane of the laws of the universe, the universal laws, the law of vibration, the law of attraction, the law of what makes things go bump in the night, the law of gravity, the law, all of the theories and the laws that keep the glue of the universe together, that make it all work, are there in the 6th plane. When you move up to the 7th, it's what we would call God. You might call it the Tao. You might call it all that is. you might call it the creator, you might call it the divine. Whatever word for you represents the highest of the high, maybe it's love, which is what I tell my kids, what God is love. And so that's the seventh plane, which they say is the theta plane, where they do theta healing from, direct to the divine source. So those are the 7 levels. So now, hang on, vibrational healing. Where does that one fit? So when you're using like... So, for example, if you're doing reflexology, so you're doing osteopathy, you're doing chirophysio, polarity therapy, Feldenkrais, any of the hands-on healings, those are still with the human plane because it's hands-on bodies. When you're going into vibrational healing, I'm going to clear your chakras. I'm going to put some drops under the tongue like a homeopathy essence. That's when you're going the next plane up into more the spirit realm. So isn't it fascinating to see, Jane, how the different modalities fit into the...
I find that I've never heard that before. That's awesome.
That's what I thought it might interest people.
And so is this why we've seen, particularly over more recent times, so many healers that have started with one modality, but now they've got a whole heap of different modalities and they're all blending and doing their own version of healing. And it might be incorporating the crystals, so that's plane 1.
Yep.
Then they might be incorporating some herbs or
herbal
essences,
tonic,
which is plane 2.
Yep.
They might do some hands-on, plane 3. They might do hands off the body, plane 4, which is with
like Reiki or...
Yeah. And then up to plane 5, which is they might be working with their angels and
guides,
ascending masters and guides.
Meditating, guidance, etc.
So I'm sitting there thinking, I've been on the receiving end of some beautiful healings that actually, gorgeous Rebecca Brown, who we interviewed
not that long ago,
a few months ago, she works on every one of them. She does all 7.
Well, I don't know about that. Because she
does the crystal.
She doesn't do...
She doesn't do the homeopathy because it's
She doesn't
distance.
administer, for example, herbal tonics. She's not a herbalist. She's not an aromatherapist.
No.
But I know what
so
you're
she
saying.
misses that plane, but she's incorporating a lot of the planes.
Well, I guess what you're saying, Jane, is that these days, because we're so spiritually, emotionally conscious, we realise that if there's something up with you, one thing ain't necessarily going to fix it. We need to have a multi-tiered approach. In the same way that we did that show not long ago about all the different facets of the soul, we do realise...
the one that did our heads in.
Yeah, and our listeners' heads in.
Did you see the Facebook comments? It's like, oh my God, I need to listen to that one 5 more times.
I know. But it's that idea that, there is that sort of basic triangle. People talk about the physical, the chemical and the emotional, but I'd say it's even probably more of a hexagram or a pentagon or something with a few more sides, septagram, decahecatedragram, whatever they're called. We really need to look at, if you've got a cold, there is about 6 or 7 different ways you can approach that cold. You can pop a Panadol if you want, or you can go and get a chiropractic adjustment. You could put some drops under the tongue. You could get a massage. You could talk out your feelings with a girlfriend. You could go and get some muscle testing because you've got an emotional block showing up. You could just go and lie in the sun and relax for a while and be with... there's so many different ways you can approach a cold. Maybe just do all of them. It's exciting.
Really exciting.
Now, I didn't even say grind the ginger and garlic into a glass and drink it with honey and apple cider.
No, that's right. Or put the eucalyptus or peppermint oil on your temples or...
all of these beautiful things, right? So, Jane, which modalities do you find yourself reaching for in an average sort of week? Which ones do you...
Well, I try to do preventative. So I think, look, one of the most classic for, here I am, middle-class, middle-aged mother from the burbs, is that, I live a very mainstream life and I've chosen that in this lifestyle, in this lifetime. I love bread. I absolutely adore it. And I know I've read Wheat Belly, the book Wheat Belly. I have full understanding of the low vibrational quality of wheat that we are now being given in Western society from all the disintegration, the disintegration of the quality of
farming techniques and genetically modified.
However, I absolutely adore it, and I have tried to go wheat free, and I found it so stressful that I thought I'm actually going to die of stress before I die of whatever wheat gives me, because it really was a struggle for me. Now, I really honour and respect those that can do that, and maybe one day I will. For now, I can't, I haven't, I'm not. So what I've chosen is to go, well, what does that cause? The biggest thing they're all saying is it causes inflammation. What am I going to do to prevent it? I have ginger, cinnamon and turmeric in huge quantities in my morning green smoothie, which actually really isn't a green smoothie anymore because I'll add in some protein and I might add in some extra fibre and I might add in whatever else. So I actually start with my juices. So I start with all my fresh, my zucchini and celery and carrots and spinach and whatever else is going in that's real, well, it's all real, that's all in its natural format. And then I just grab all my spice jars and add it all in. So my go-to for preventative at the moment is definitely juicing. And at the same time, I bless it. So I'm giving it infinite love and gratitude. I use I'm on whatever plane that is for the words of vibration. I'm using the infinite love and gratitude hand sign, which is very powerful, an older Indian hand sign, which we learnt that from Dr. Darren Wiesman talking about the lifeline technique. And then I'm drinking, 750 mils of this in the morning and I feel great.
Yeah.
So preventative. But definitely if I start to feel any ailments coming on, I go straight to the emotional. I go straight to my book of, what's my body, what conversation is my body trying to have with me? So I go to the book about the body is the barometer of your soul. If I'm not at home and I notice something, I quickly jump on my app that's Louise Hay's Heal Your Life app that's just got an A to Z of different ailments and gives you a very quick affirmation. So I reach for that. If the symptoms continue, then I, now thanks to Beck getting me into meditation, here's the update. She actually did. I jump into a quick 2-minute meditation, hand on heart, ask what's going on. And then when I get the topic of whatever the shift that is needed, then I jump to my gorgeous girlfriend, Nikki, who does the lifeline technique. She jumps into muscle testing, does a little remote session for me. And then any meltdowns that happen, I jump on the phone to Beck. And that's how I handle my stuff.
Thanks, Jane, for the wrap up. And all of you listening, of course, you can have your own variations on this. Look, I think for me, it's as simple as this. It's a bit of what Jane said. Something shows up. I get up my Annette Noontil book, The Body is the Barometer of the Soul. I quickly look it up. Can I just say, I get texts at all times of day or night from friends going, Rebecca, like 11 p.m. Tuesday, Rebecca, it's Melissa, lower back vertebra showing up. What's it say in your book? Like,
tell them to download that app because I was getting that as well all the time.
Is there an app for Annette Noontil?
No, but the Louise Hayes one is very similar.
Yeah.
It's not as detailed, but for that quick fix, I just want an entry point before this becomes worse or, heavens, moves into chronic.
Yeah.
We're wanting to grab that symptom really quick right here, right now. It just gives you it gives you a 2-line thing of possible reason, and then it gives you a 2-line affirmation.
Yeah.
And so that's an easy one. It costs about $4.
So a perfect example is me this weekend. I lost my voice. So straight away I'm like, okay, well, I've lost my voice, as in I feel I don't have a voice. I've got it emotionally, totally know what that's about. Second of all, right, what do? I jump on Google, natural remedies for laryngitis or throat infection or whatever. And it just says, look, it's a virus. It'll clear up. Give it a week. Manuka honey, check. Apple cider vinegar, check. Lemons, check. Ginger, check. Go and have a green smoothie with wheatgrass and ginger in it, check. I mean, it's not, you just put anything into your body that's antimicrobial, like olive leaf extract, stuff like that, check. Done. Like, it's not that hard to be your own doctor. Bed rest, check.
So, look, you really are great at this. What do you think for somebody that's wanting to go down this path? Because when you start Googling, they come up with these recipes that have got 12 different ingredients. It's going to go and cost you $150.
No.
And you've got to drive, 20 kilometres away to get to the good organic whatever.
I don't know about that, Jane.
Staples that people can have in their fridge, pantry, spice rack that can be, what should they always have on hand? That if you just feel a bit off colour, you don't know what it is, you just don't feel right, whether it's a little bit of an upset tummy or you got a shoulder pain or you get a bit of a headache coming on or you just feel stressed or flat, what should they just boost themselves up with, do you think? What should they have?
I think pretty
stock?
pretty much everything you should have on stock you can now get at your supermarket, which is extraordinary.
All right, well, let's use spices. Is it okay to grab a spice rack from, Coles, there's their ground ginger. Can they use that?
Oh, it's not going to be as strong. So I see what you're saying. But you might need that spice rack for your turmeric. I mean, listen, if you're going to talk spices, a lovely Ayurvedic doctor, they love their spices. They're all over. They have a spice for anything. You've got cancer, we've got a spice for that. They give spices to babies. They give spice. It's their religion is spice. So spice is powerful, particularly in its rawest form when it does get a bit expensive. But definitely in the house, you should have a jar of coconut oil. You can do about 25 different things with a jar of organic raw coconut.
Which is so cheap. It's like, $10 for a great big jar. It's really cheap.
The price is coming down a lot now as it's becoming a normal thing to see in supermarkets. Everyone should have a jar of Manuka honey, not honey, Manuka honey. Yes, I realise that's going to cost you.
What is Manuka honey? I've got honey that's from this little farm up in the Adelaide Hills.
Lovely. Eat it on your toast. Manuka honey is $30 to $40 a jar. It comes from the Manuka or Manuka bees in New Zealand. It is used as a salve and as an antibacterial. So you put it on cold sores, skin conditions, burns. You put it into your throat if you have an infection, into your body if you have a virus, into your smoothies if you want to kill off germs. Okay, so it's basically like a medical grade honey, right?
Okay, now if they haven't got access to that...
Everyone just go to a health food store or order it online. It'll get shipped to you from New Zealand.
Okay, but if they haven't, and they've got a cold this afternoon, what if they use their good, pure, organic honey combined with their cinnamon and
clove
whatever?
Of garlic. You're going to whiz something up in the food processor. Clove of garlic, a little bit of a root of ginger. Put in your turmeric. Put in your cinnamon and whatever. Cayenne pepper is quite good.
So we've got garlic. We want to keep garlic on stock.
Yeah.
In stock. Turmeric. Ginger.
A little bit of cayenne pepper on stock.
Good. This honey that Beck's talking
Manuka
about.
honey. I would keep a bottle of olive leaf extract in the house and
Olive leaf extract is different to olive oil.
Correct. It tastes horrific. It's brown.
So it's actually the leaves of olives, of the olive tree.
It's a particularly extracted substance which tastes horrific, but it will stop any germ dead in its tracks. So you'll be taking 15 mils of that maybe a day or twice a day if you've got cold, influenza, etc. Also colloidal silver. It's a spray which just looks like water, smells like water and has no taste. But you can spray it on any skin condition, spray it in the back of your throat, swallow it, and it has incredible healing properties because once again it goes in at the antifungal, antimicrobial, bloody anti-this, anti-that, every antioxidant, everything you can think of that's got the word anti in front of it, it contains. Tea tree oil. You need to be keeping a pot of tea tree oil. You can buy that now in the pharmacy aisle of your supermarket. Buy it and keep it for all cleaning products. So you should also have white vinegar, bicarb soda, and apple cider vinegar. The apple cider vinegar you can drink small amounts of with lemon in a glass per day. Your body will change overnight. White vinegar, bicarb soda, and lemon is all you need to clean an entire house with, medical grade. You never need to... I just cleaned my oven the other day. You watch some of those videos on YouTube. They will blow your mind. Basically, you mix water and bicarb soda in a bowl and paste it onto your oven, go to sleep, wake up in the morning and wipe it off with a sponge. You'll fall over and die. You can't believe how much it removes stuff that chemical sprays usually do. You get like a burn mark, a burnt encrusted food on your stovetop. Just put some bicarb on it and leave it for half an hour, come back and come off with a sponge.
Very good.
It's absolutely acidic, that stuff. Like it's almost like such a dangerous substance. I can't believe that we have it in cakes. I can't believe we eat it. Like it's just like acid. It's incredible, but so non-toxic. So if you've got a few of these basics, now let's talk about homeopathy and let's talk about essential oils. So you've got to have your tea tree oil in the house. Why? You can put a couple of drops of it into a smoothie. You can put a couple of drops of it into the kids' bath if their noses are all snotted up, or step into the shower, and when the hot water comes down and you're in there, drop it onto the floor of the shower. It'll come up in the steam and clear out your congestion. You mix it into your apple cider vinegar. You might want to, take some salt crystals, drop the essential oil onto the salt because the salt will absorb the oil, then mix it up with some vinegar and put it into a spritz bottle. You can clean your bench tops.
I want to talk about your beautiful essences,
I know.
Your flower essences.
We have to talk about homeopathy just quickly.
Okay.
So homeopathy is something, look, I'm sorry, you just either get it or you don't, or you either believe in it or you don't. I realise that modern science can't prove it, but modern science can't prove anything I believe in, so stuff you, modern science. Homeopathy works with the law. This is a sixth plane healing modality. It works with the law of vibration. Homeopathic essences are so gentle. You could never overdose. You can give it to a baby. You can give it to a dog. You can give it to an old person who's dying. You can give it to anyone, anytime. There is hundreds of different ones for every single human ailment known to man and woman. There are entire kits designed by Isaac Golden for vaccinating your child with. If you want to take your child through all the vaccinations without a needle, you put them through the Isaac Golden kit. If you want to keep some in the house, there's a few basic ones that are good to keep on hand just for your everyday, like your rescue remedies, maybe a bit of pulsatilla, and some other ones which you can get from good naturopaths. You just put 10 drops into your water bottle and sip it throughout the day. If you need to calm down, if you need to shift your mood, they are emotional. They work on the emotions. They shift the emotions from a deep level. My flower essences, if you go into these sorts of green pharmacies, you'll also find that Richard Bach designed a range of flower essences a long time ago, 100 years ago. There's also, here in Australia, the native wildflower bush essences. Now, this is where plants and herbs are put into the sun in bowls of pure water and solarised. The vibration from the plant comes imprinted into the water. The water, mixed with a bit of apple cider vinegar or high-grade clear alcohol, is then distilled and extracted down in through vibration until it becomes a potent little bottle. Now, those are what I make out of my own garden because I'm lucky enough to have an organic flowering 100-year-old garden with natural springs and wells in the ground.
Oh, Beck's place is amazing.
So I bottle them with apple cider vinegar made from the apple orchard down the road. So everything is synchronistically held together. And I bless and bottle the concoctions. And if you are interested in seeing my range, you can go to gypsygarden.net. So maybe I'll put that on under this show.
Yeah, do, because I've been blessed that Beck's gifted me a couple of times different little potions that actually I've been a bit spoiled in that she's gone dancing around the garden, channeling me and picking flowers and making me specific ones for whatever it is I need. And I've got to tell you, they're amazing. They really are just fabulous.
What I want to say about
it's magic.
Subtle and gentle, that's
what the affirmation was. Yeah, when Beck said, do the affirmation, I said, I want something about gentle. And it's like gentle doesn't mean lack of power. Gentle means ease.
And some of the most gentlest healing modalities are the most powerful. We must not underestimate them. Like we tend to think, let's roll them into surgery under bright lights with a scalpel. That's going to be effective because we need this kind of, or I need to have a massage that feels like it was a really strong one, or I feel like nothing's happened, or I only see chiropractors who crack me. I don't like the ones that just do network and do energy work above the body. I don't feel like anything's happened. But as you get more spiritually and emotionally sensitive, the very, very smallest introductions of an energy or a blend or an oil or a touch, you will start to have huge sensation off of. And you'll start to find that this is why homeopathy, for example, is so deeply effective. Only the tiniest introduction of something into your energetic field is enough to change the entire vibration. This stuff is powerful. Don't scoff at it. Don't laugh at it.
I think one of the things that I love too about the gentle side of this is that it's not going to then cause a chain reaction of something else. If we take something that is, if we take a pharmaceutical product, there will be side effects. Now, we're not going to get any side effects from this beautiful, gentle healing from Mother Nature.
Absolutely not, you won't. And I love the idea of everyone going away this week and really becoming a kitchen witch. Just stocking your pantries and cupboards with things you keep year round that you reach for when you need something immediate. You can't always get in to see a doctor, and maybe you're like me, you don't even want to see a doctor. What do you do? I hope today that we've given you some answers. And if you need any more than that, you just Google it and apply that law of truth. Does it resonate with you? Does it not?
I trust in the gentle healing of Mother Nature.
Thank you so much for joining us today at Love Life. So today's show came off the back of a reader's question. So if you have some ideas for topics that you'd like us to explore, it's usually best just to hit us up on Facebook.
Yeah, which is facebook.com/Love Life Show.
Of course, you can also email us via lovelifeshow.com. That's where you'll find all of our episodes. Jane and I are now on, what radio is it?
Kicks.
Kicks Radio.
Yeah, KIXX.com.
So you can go there. We are on every night of the week.
Yeah, it's out of Monday to Friday at 9 o'clock Australian Central Standard Time. And they are starting from episode 1. So I think it's pretty cool if you want to, revisit our shows.
Yeah,
there you go.
A great new place you can find us. So look, until this time next week, have some fun, being your own doctor. Have some fun getting back into those past lives where maybe you too were the herbalist or the aromatherapist and dabbling with some of those old oils, spices, plants and leaves. And most of all, have a good time healing yourself from the inside out naturally and safely.
life is perfect, I'll not try it, it's just happening.